ridiculous. I mean, ass like a 10-year-old boy.
What's going on, everybody? I'm sitting here at the crib chilling. My Raiders done got their ass whooped. But then I'm looking at this podcast with Joe Rogan. I kind of hear him say that they know a pedophile. Him and Greg Fitzsimmons, they say they know a pedophile, but then they don't want to expose his name. And I'm sitting here like, damn, like these is like the type of people that's really supposed to represent, like good people. As you watch like the everyday media and sit here, CNN to Fox News, you might get Google News like me, or any type of news outlets, I always ask, do we really care about women and children? Because if you watch the news every day, I see situations happen involving women and children in ways we can actually protect them by changing laws. And every year goes by and we bring up things like climate change and any type of other subject other than changing some of the laws involving women and children, pretty much. And I mean, there's a lot of things that men need protection on, but it's certain laws out here that really don't give the perpetrator that's actually hurting women and children, or just anybody for that matter, there's not really too many people trying to change any of the laws that have anything to do with things like rape or child molesting. It's a lot of things that we can actually do as people to change some of these things that's going on, especially the ones involving women and children that really have a tough time protecting themselves. I feel like it's the job of alpha men to do that. You ask the average person, and they're going to tell you, yeah, I'm down to protect women and children and things like that, but every year we go by with elections and situations where we have the power to change laws, but we don't. And I always wonder why. Like, shouldn't the people that actually have the power use it? But why don't we? I mean, these are women and children, especially Roman Polanski. Like, Hollywood did some things, like signed a petition for Roman Polanski, and some people backed out of that petition, but a lot of people didn't. And you got to understand that this is a sick individual. He already pled guilty. And I always wonder one thing, like, we can send SEAL Team 6 over there to get Bin Laden, no problem. Knock him off, dump him in the ocean. But why we can't send nobody to go get Roman Polanski? Like, what's up with that? Like, do we got something going on to where known pedophiles? I mean, this dude raped and sodomized a 13-year-old. Come on. What the fuck? Then why is everybody acting so shocked about things like Harvey Weinstein and all this situation? They got entire genres of porn dedicated to the casting couch. This has been going on for a long time. This ain't nothing new. And everybody sitting here acting like squares, like we didn't know what was going on. Everybody knew what was going on. But you also know one thing. There's laws that these men behind. These dudes hide behind lawyers, and these dudes hide behind money. That's how they get away with doing all of the things they do. Until we change that and make those laws stricter and make it to where you can't just easily get out of it with a lawyer, until we do that, it's going to consistently be a problem in this country regarding pedophiles and rapists, even dudes doing sexual harassment, things like that. I mean, we act like we shocked about all this, but how many women actually have stories of being assaulted? Waitresses getting their ass grabbed, secretaries getting propositioned by their bosses. I mean, it's been going on forever. you gotta understand that unless you tell these people that you won't vote for them, unless they change these laws, they never gonna change them. Because the people that want these laws to be as soft and easy to get out of is the men who are doing this shit. And that's basically the problem. I mean, Bill O'Reilly just paid $32 million to a motherfucker. Sean Hannity, yeah, you a hypocrite, homie. Because you done had Bill O'Reilly come on your show and y'all sit there and talk about black people and have no problem doing things like that, talking about the left and things like that. But y'all don't talk about none of the stuff y'all do or none of the people that y'all back. Even you, Hannity, the fact that you back Bill O'Reilly shows what type of person you are. He just had to pay a woman $32 million. He didn't give her that for nothing. Obviously, he did something to have to give her that much money. And these are the type of people you defend. Everybody on the news, whether it's the left or whether it's the right, they both are hypocrites. Because things like protection of women and protection of children are a lot more important than whatever y'all got going on the news every day. And that's just 100%. I mean, Bill O'Reilly, you talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and then you say NFL players are disrespecting the flag. But what about you? Isn't the fact that you're denying women liberty and the pursuit of happiness in their life, isn't that disrespecting the American flag? What about those women you're harming? What about those? What about that? I mean, does the liberty and the life of those women not matter to you? I wonder, huh? That kind of makes you a hypocrite, don't it? I mean, aren't these women that you deal with and you had to pay money to, aren't these women American citizens? So wouldn't the fact that you're trying to impede on them rights, wouldn't the fact that you're trying to impede on those women's rights, wouldn't that mean you're disrespecting the flag, Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity, by bringing up somebody like that and letting him openly bitch about NFL players, but not bitch about the fact that he's disrespecting the flag by doing the things he's doing and has been caught doing? And then from Fox News to CNN to MSNBC to all these different news outlets, I mean, they all really full of shit. I listen to them, but when you listen to them, you got to understand that when they go to name calling instead of bringing out facts and they're going to blame people for this and blame people for that, you see the problem. See, the news ain't about opinions, and the news ain't how you really care about that shit. You just supposed to give us the information and let us decide for ourselves. But everybody got this left, right. It's all fucking gangbanging that these niggas is doing, and it's starting to get on my nerves, definitely. None of these news outlets actually represent the everyday American people. I'm talking about the people that got to get up Monday morning and go to work, and every day they got to live their life and try to make the right decisions regarding whatever they're doing, being responsible for themselves. There's a lot of Americans, and these people ain't really represented. These news outlets are just feeding us a whole line of bullshit and expecting us to make smile at them and say it tastes good. But that's bullshit. I mean, they use our viewership and patronage to live a lifestyle where they can really just like destroy our youth and destroy us actually by misinforming us and giving us false information. They pretty much are helping to destroy our lives. But people don't want to look at it like that because you say, oh, they're smiling. And that's bullshit. And at the end of the day, all of these rapists and pedophiles, they're spending, and most times, especially with the politicians, they're spending our tax dollars to basically live a lifestyle of being a pedophile and a rapist. They're basically using our tax dollars in order to do that. I go to work every day. Not every day, off on the weekends most times. But I go to work every day. Understand that. And these people are taking the money, my hard-earned money. I'm an American. I pay everything I'm supposed to pay. But they taking my hard-earned money and using it to be pedophiles and rapists. And even when they do something, all they do is pay them off. See, we need to make these laws to where these guys definitely go to jail. No more probation. No more 10, 15 months, and then you out. Nah, fuck that. We need to change these laws to make it to where a lot of these guys go down. That's what we need to do as Americans. And then Hillary Clinton, she didn't came up. We didn't figure out she crooked too. That make you wrong, Angela Rye, and all these other black people that want to support Hillary and get mad because some people actually support Trump because he's anti-establishment. I feel like Trump don't really care about nothing none of y'all talking about. He just winning and letting y'all sit up here and hate all day long. I mean, I don't really give a fuck about the motherfucker. But look, he making everybody look like a goddamn fool. And we just sitting there loving it. America gets commonly accused of being a rape culture, that we condone rape. But a lot of people would disagree according to the laws because we lock up rapists whenever they get caught. But what about when they don't get caught? See, you got to understand, some of these people that make these laws are the same people that are doing the shit. And they also make loopholes and ways to get out of these laws. See, you got to understand that shit. These motherfuckers spend that money so that they can make sure that these laws, shit, ain't nothing. Nothing but a slap on the wrist. I mean, publicly, we don't condone rape as a people. America commonly gets accused of having a rape culture. That's basically like a culture that condones rape, and we don't have a problem with it. Now, legally, you could say that's not true, because there are laws that lock up motherfuckers for raping and fucking with little kids. But you gotta also understand that there are loopholes that these men that created these laws, there are loopholes that basically get these guys out of it. And a lot of the times that we focus on the person doing it, but we don't focus on those loopholes. And that's the problem. See, we need to, as a people, come together and start changing these laws and get some of these loopholes out of here. And that's really the bullshit going on. I mean, for the most part, we don't support rape culture. Ideologically, we don't at all. You know, if you asked anybody, like, do you think rape is cool? They're going to say no automatically because according to society, that's something that's wrong. But when it actually happens, we don't really do too much about it. As long as the police cart them off and take them away, then we don't worry about them anymore. But that motherfucker's still a rapist. And that motherfucker's still a pedophile. And you got to understand that shit. Therefore, we are not in a rape culture technically according to the law, but on a societal level, do people get raped? Hell yeah. And it's a big problem going on. Sexual assault, rape, pedophilia, it's all kind of bullshit going on. And I think it's our job as the people to stop that shit. In reality, we as a country have failed to consistently update the law, publicly criticize lawmakers, and demand our politicians to take a more serious stand on rape as a requirement for our vote. You got to understand that. We got to start making these politicians know, like, if you're not going to make rape a stricter thing, then you're not going to get my vote. And then they will change that shit. If you make sure they don't get that job and you take away that motherfucking money they get, oh yeah, they going to start listening to you. Most definitely. But we as Americans seriously need to hold ourselves accountable for what's going on with this covert rape culture. You got to understand that. It's a covert rape culture. And what I mean by that is they found the ways to avoid laws and situations, payoffs. You'll just hear about some dude giving somebody a whole lot of money for nothing. And then next thing you know, you'll find out that he did a sexual harassment or he had some sort of rape situation going on. Then all of a sudden, a whole lot of money later, they get away with it. And then you think they just gonna stop once they get away with it? You think Harvey Weinstein gonna stop? Hell no. As long as he still got people that help him with everything he got going on, he gonna continue to do this. I mean, is America a pedophile culture? I mean, a lot of people will say no, but look at all the motherfucking pedophilia that's going on everybody got a story. Every family. I don't give a fuck if you white, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever. Everybody got a motherfucking story about somebody that was touched funny as a kid. I mean, all kind of bullshit. And I feel like society is basically society now is pretty much ran by the people that do this type of shit. Charlie Chaplin married two 16-year-olds. First wife, Mildred Harris, divorced her when she turned 18. Second wife, 4 years later, Lita McMurray, a.k.a. Lita Gray. Lita was discovered to be pregnant during filming of The Gold Rush. He demanded she get an abortion. She refused. He fired her. Then her parents threatened him to have him locked up for statutory rape. So he married her. They later divorced, but she got him for £500,000, which is the world's largest divorce settlement at the time, worth £8 million today. What about Roman Polanski? March 10th, 1977, Roman Polanski, age 44, photographed a 13-year-old Samantha Gailey, now Samantha Geimer, fed her drugs and alcohol, and then raped and sodomized her. He pled guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor and fled to France and has lived there his little wonderful pedophile life in France ever since. See what the fuck I'm talking about? And then it's still a lot of Americans that still support Roman Polanski. And we still cool with it. We still watch their movies when they come out. We still do this, but we don't never take no and pay attention to the actual motherfuckers that's doing this shit. And as long as we keep supporting them, it's gonna keep going on. It's just that simple. And Roman Polanski, he raped a 13-year-old girl and he still wins awards and he's still part of the Academy. They kicked out Harvey Weinstein, but they still got Roman Polanski in there. So I think we should boycott the Academy. Stop watching the fucking movies that they coming out with, and then next thing you know, these motherfuckers gonna start reacting to that shit when you start fucking with their paper. I mean, Bill Cosby. Look at this motherfucker, like Roman Polanski. Just like Polanski, Bill drugged the victims as well. Accused of raping over, they say 40 women, some people say 27, whatever. But it's a whole lot of females that's basically accusing Bill Cosby of doing what he doing. So, I mean, I understand there's some investigations going on behind that, but like I say, he's still selling out shows. So these people that are still buying his shows and still going to his shows and things like that, y'all motherfuckers is real burnt up. Why the fuck is y'all supporting this dude? I mean, until the investigation is over, when the investigation is over and he don't end up going to jail, then I understand. Support the nigga. But until that shit happens, I wouldn't be going to that nigga shows, man. That's just some straight bull. And these dudes use Quaaludes, Polanski and Bill Cosby. Quaaludes were invented for stressed out soccer moms who wanted to sleep during the day. Not for rich guys to be trying to fuck little kids with. That's just some straight bullshit. I mean, come on, America. We the ones that got the power to do all this shit. We the ones that got the power to protect these kids. I don't know who to vote for to see change, but we got to start actually asking the question of who is going to actually want to change these laws involving pedophiles and rapists. And what I mean by change is make them a lot more stricter. Start giving pedophiles life. How about that? Instead of 5, 10 years and letting them right back out into the world unsupervised. That's bullshit. That motherfucker's still a pedophile. And I always wonder why it's TV shows like How to Catch a Predator, them type of shows get canceled. Because apparently all of the lawsuits and things of that nature that happen, but I always ask, like, what isn't that the most important type of show? Like, what happened to John Walsh with America's Most Wanted? Like, isn't that an important show to come on TV? I don't give a fuck about the ratings and all that shit, but isn't that an important show? A one that shows the murderers walking around this motherfucker? What about How to Catch a Predator? Don't you want to know about the pedophiles that's walking around just to protect your kids? Isn't that important? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, we need to stop putting all our faith in these crooked politicians and then believing that they just gonna change themselves. The politicians are the ones that's actually doing the shit. I mean, look at music. Look at Led Zeppelin. Everybody loved Led Zeppelin, but what y'all motherfuckers don't know is that Jimmy Page took he had a relationship with a 14-year-old, and he was constantly in that relationship for a couple of years. So that right there tells me that everybody in his band knew how old that girl was. You could look at her and tell she young, and you wouldn't even think to ask, and you'll just let the shit go on with no problems. I mean, that mean all y'all down with that shit, to be 100% honest. I mean, look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly fucking married Aaliyah when she was 15 years old, and this nigga still out here selling shows. Out. He's selling them out. This nigga married Aaliyah when she was 15 years old, and he's still out here to this day selling out shows. I mean, come on. Who the fuck is going to a R. Kelly show, and this nigga married a 15-year-old when he was 27? Come on, I don't give a fuck how good the music is. Listen to the music at the crib. I mean, is America really cool with pedophiles? If R. Kelly's still selling out shows and Roman Polanski's still getting paid by making movies and shit and we still watching them, is everybody cool with pedophiles then? Long as they make good music or good movies? And look at Lena Dunham. Lena Dunham wrote a fucking book where she talked about molesting her little sister in a couple different occasions. And ain't nobody boycotting her show Girls or boycotting none of the shit she doing. I mean, she's literally, she didn't get fired. Nobody's criticizing her. And she about to be running Glamour magazine. So what is the penalty for being a pedophile or admitting you're a pedophile? Nothing, obviously. It's certain people we cool with. We'll be like, oh yeah, it's cool. She molested her little sister and we still cool with it? What type of shit is that? Look at Woody Allen. His wife is literally his daughter. It was his wife's adopted daughter that he been around since she was 10 years old, and they've been in a sexual relationship for a while now. Married. He married her. Y'all don't find that crazy? But we still watch his movies and we still support this dude, even though he done did some creepy ass shit. So basically, y'all not really giving a penalty for the creepy shit these motherfuckers is doing. I mean, Morgan Freeman, that nigga suspect too. He started fucking having a sexual relationship with his step-granddaughter that grew up in his house. I mean, that's some weirdo type shit. But ain't nobody boycotting him. He's still getting movie roles and he's still doing his thing. I mean, y'all just making it seem like it ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, these dudes do whatever they want to do, but we still support, we still watch their shows, we still support their livelihoods. Aren't we financing pedophilia at this point by still supporting all these people? Are we financing that shit as just the general public? Pay attention. I mean, these kids need us. It's nothing they can actually do to protect themselves. It's the job of the parents and it's the job of the everyday person to make sure this type of shit don't go on. And that's just real. I mean, it is our job as citizens of America to protect all of these kids. And we need to start doing a better job with our lawmakers and things like that. And we have to unite on this issue, people, because these motherfuckers gonna keep going on and doing the things they doing if we don't. We gotta stop supporting and putting money in these motherfuckers' pockets. That's where you gotta hit them at, is in their pockets. Once you get that, you gonna get their attention, straight up. I mean, Harvey Weinstein ain't the first person to pray, and he definitely ain't gonna be the last. We need to pay attention to everybody that's going on and hold people accountable to the things they do. Real talk. I mean, you can watch that Open Secret documentary and tell that Hollywood isn't really caring about these kids the way they should be. I mean, and also I think a lot of these parents need to be held accountable too for leaving your kid with a creepy motherfucker. I don't give a fuck how much money he offering you. That's what people need to understand. They out here prostituting their kids. I mean, then you go all the way into music. You got people like Africa Bambaataa, rappers that started hip hop. These motherfuckers are getting accused of touching little boys and being pedophiles. And nobody wants to acknowledge this. How can we respect everybody in the rap game? People like KRS-One, nigga, you a fuckboy for real. I can't respect none of you niggas because y'all not speaking out about the shit that's happening. And that's real talk. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all hearing the stories, but ain't nobody speaking up. None of these old niggas in the rap game is speaking up about none of this shit that's going on. And KRS-One said that hip-hop is more important than the youth. Nigga, fuck hip-hop. Because the youth is our future. That's what is going to be here when we gone. And you think hip-hop going to be here? When everybody is sitting here and it ain't nothing left, you think hip-hop going to be here? No, the youth is going to be here, my nigga. When you gone, that's what I'm saying. You old niggas need to move the fuck out the way and let the new niggas fucking take over. And that's just 100. Because KRS-One going to say, yeah, that's his homeboy, and it don't matter what his homeboy do, he don't give a fuck that's still gonna be his homeboy. Nah, my nigga, that's because you a fuck nigga, real talk. Because on some real shit, if any of my homies get accused of doing some foul shit, some bullshit, they ain't gonna be my homie no more. And they know that's part of the motherfucking game. Real talk. A nigga ain't finna be fucking with no nigga and he accused of being a pedophile. What type of shit is that? Nigga, fuck that nigga. Fuck KRS-One and fuck Africa Bambaataa. And fuck any of you niggas that still support these niggas. Real talk. I mean, there's 400,000 convicted pedophiles in America walking around right now. And ain't nobody paying attention to this shit. Why do pedophiles still have the right to be in our communities? Why we can't banish these motherfuckers and make them go to a state where it's... Get these niggas Montana, fuck it. And let these niggas be in the wilderness and all that type of shit. And if they get caught in the city, they get fucked up. They get locked up for being in city limits and shit like that. Anywhere around children. But we don't. We just fucking lock them up for 2 years, then let them out, and then bam. They out here able to prey on kids or do whatever, and we act like we just don't give a fuck. And that's a big problem. Why is no one demanding lawmakers to make stricter laws regarding sexual harassment, rape, and pedophilia? How come? Why aren't we trying to make the lawmakers make stricter laws? Why? I mean, the same with the rape culture. It seems like we got a pedophilia culture too, because we not trying to change none of the situations that's going on. Every day we just let it go on. I'm talking about the people involved in politics. If you ain't involved in politics and you don't vote or whatever, I understand. But I'm talking about the people that are actively involved in this type of shit. If you actively involved in voting, why ain't you trying to, if you're actively involved in voting, why the fuck aren't you trying to make these lawmakers change these laws and make them more stricter and lock up more sex offenders, lock up more pedophiles, lock up more rapists? I mean, the people that are being victimized by these criminals are definitely helpless. They need help. And that's what the law does. Frank Zappa, this nigga Frank Zappa said the United States is a nation of laws, badly written and randomly enforced. But the reason I find that's bullshit, because it's not randomly enforced. Everybody know if you got money, you can get away with a lot of these laws that's going on. That's how a lot of these people get away with it. They got money. And until we change these laws, until where your money can't get you out of it, it's a big problem going on. And that's just straight up. Politicians are proven to be guilty in the past all of the way to the president. We are the people. It is our job to create change. It's about who you vote for. We have to unite as Americans and stop this shit. Legally, the only way to change things is change the law. Well, we need to start making lawmakers. They are the ones that make the law. So we need to start making lawmakers change the fucking law. I mean, look at the left. The left got people like Anthony Weiner. This motherfucker sexting a 15-year-old. Then you got Kareem Brown. You know, this bitch out here on some corrupt shit. Shaka Fatah, corruption again. But it's not just the left either. When it comes to people on the right like Dennis Hastert or General David Petraeus or Rick Renzi. I mean, you got a lot of corruption and things like that going on in this situation where it's not just a left-right thing. So when I hear people on news outlets talking about the left does this and the right does this, I don't really try to pay attention to that shit because they really being biased. And I'm an equal opportunity person on the judgment, and I see that it's people on both sides doing fucked up shit, and we ain't really trying to stop it. We really just trying to blame the other side for a lot of the shit, and nothing ever gets fixed that way. That is extremely counterproductive. I mean, these people are proven criminals. These people are out here breaking laws and being convicted of crimes, and we not paying attention. We doing shit like blaming Donald Trump for everything. Now, whatever he did, whatever he's doing, if he needs to get charged for something, charge him. But understand, he ain't the only motherfucker out here on some bullshit. We need to get everybody that's out here on some bullshit and stop paying attention to just one motherfucker. I mean, these people spend their money on their lifestyles and they just letting it go on. Look at Terry Crews. Like people say, look at Terry Crews. How can he get sexually harassed? He's so big. And I'm surprised people will be scared. No, it's because the people that are touching Terry Crews, they got money. They hiding behind their money and their power. So even a big black dude don't mean shit compared to the shit they doing because they just looking at him like, do whatever you want. I'll sue. I got a team of lawyers and you can't really do nothing to me. And then that's just how it plays. Because these men have created life by law, you know. And they go by laws that they create. And these laws say, if you got money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can even grab a big black guy's dick and get away with it. because that's what your money tells you can do. And if Terry Crews beat up the guy that touched his dick, he would have went to jail. And everybody would have been like, oh, he shouldn't have punched him and yada, yada, yada. But he didn't punch him, and you see the guy got away with it. And this is a problem going on. Nobody is talking about changing any of the laws. And I'm wondering what the fuck is going on. Life in prison for pedophiles and rapists. That's all I want. I just want somebody to talk about that. Somebody talk about longer sentences for people that abuse children. How about that?